Cuba, Belgium, Brazil, Congo, UK and all over the USA to crowds from 14 to 40,000. International leadership speaker, trainer and coach. Author of Learn to Raw Leadership, Attitude Hack, Live a More Excellent Life, 5 Battle Strategies of a Victorious Warrior. 2021 President's Lifetime Achievement Award recipient. Founding partner of the John Maxwell team. Toastmaster International Speech Competition semi-finalist. Founder of Tell It Like It Is TV, ThatGuyRocks.com and ThatGuySpeaks.com. Creator of Story Power TV, Transforming Grace TV, and Leading Leaders Podcast. Producer of 4 TV programs and podcasts for Liftable TV and World Trumpet Television as well as multiple social media channels. Please help me welcome J Loren Norris.
Whatever can go wrong, will go wrong at the most inopportune time. I think if somebody hit Murphy with a bus a couple of weeks earlier, many of our lives would have been better. That's what I want to talk about in this episode of Leading Leaders. Stay tuned.
Subscribe now for access to our extensive media library of leadership lessons promoting faith, family, and freedom. Begin your personal growth plan at StoryPowerAcademy.com for leadership development and communication skills training. Subscribe.
There is a retreat coming up that I want you to know about. It's called the Story Power Academy Retreat. This Story Power Retreat is about focusing on your communication skills, taking them to the next level. Discover, develop, draft, deploy, and deliver some of the best stories you've ever learned. You're going to listen, create, connect, relax, and reflect around this beautiful lake scene in Granbury, Texas. It's a chance to rejuvenate and refresh and start over with some of the best training you can possibly imagine around storytelling, leadership, and communication. Join us, get away, and relax. I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast, and I can tell you there's one surefire way to make sure that things go wrong, that the wheels start coming off. I'm going to tell you what that is in a minute, but I'm going to tell you, I know this from experience. I still have 2 fingers with frostbite. Right now it feels like sunburn because I got stuck fixing a car, not a big deal, not a hard project, should have been a couple of hours long, but I didn't have the right space and I didn't have the right tools. And so it took 7 hours in the ice, in the snow. The metal under that car was so cold that I got frostbite on my fingertips trying to get it done. This week, I got to set the studio so that we can have some guests here for a training class. And we're going to train them and video them and the class. And so I have to reset the studio. And then I realized I've got some equipment here that's actually supposed to be in storage. So I load it all up in the car and I drive to storage. Well, I've been tripping over it for the last couple of weeks anyway. A couple of months, several months. I take it to the storage unit. I get to the storage unit and guess what? All the stuff that was in the storage unit that's supposed to be put away in such a way that I could literally just take the stuff from the studio, put it in the storage unit, be on my way. No. It's all been scattered all over the place. I literally have to unload the storage unit, probably 50%, before I can put in the stuff that was in the studio that wasn't supposed to be in the studio in the first place. It's one little thing after another. One thing goes right, 5 things go wrong. Maybe you've said 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Yeah, I know the feeling. This morning, preparing for this podcast, I opened a protein shake. I set it on the table. I like to shake my protein shakes. I don't like when all the stuff settles to the bottom. But I had already done it 2 or 3 times, and so I left the lid off it so I could drink it faster, and I picked it up and shook it all over my keyboard, all over my iPad, all over my desk, all over my clothes. I had to change shirts so that I could do this podcast. And so what is the one surefire way to guarantee that things come against you, that problems arise, that obstacles show up? I'm going to tell you what it is. Progress. If you are making progress, you are making waves. And if you're making waves, it's because you have momentum and energy moving in the direction of the things that you're trying to accomplish. Now that is good. Progress is good. Momentum, essential. Energy, inevitable. But when you put momentum and energy and progress together as a leader, what happens is you get noticed. You get noticed. You get on the radar. And when you get on the radar, people talk about the universe and law of attraction. I see it in spiritual entities, good and bad, and I realize that when you're making progress in your faith or making progress in a relationship, it's more likely you're going to run up against obstacles. When you're making progress in this world, you may realize that whether it's magnetics or it's the universe itself or whatever you want to attribute that to, when you're making progress, you're making waves. And just like a boat going through the lake, there are areas where there are no wake zones, because a small wake at the edge of the lake, at the pier, on the beach, in somebody else's boathouse, what seems like a little wake to you could be absolutely overwhelming to them. And for that reason, most lakes have a no wake zone. Like when you're pulling into the docks where there are 50 or 60 boats that are already housed there and they've been put up for the night. If you make a wake there, you slam their boats against the side. Well, the universe kind of has the same thing going on, and that is, if you're moving, if you're making progress, if you have momentum, then you're making a wake in the energy of the world. And as you make that wake, you're disrupting people. You're disrupting things, status quos. You're making a change. And if you're making progress toward your goals, you may be hindering somebody else from theirs. If you win, they feel like they lose. Now, whether that's true or not, that's a different thing. There are people who feel like, I can't let you succeed because if you succeed, I have to fail. It's a zero-sum game. Well, that's not true, but they feel like it's that way. They don't feel like we can make a bigger pie. They feel like if you take a bigger slice of the pie, then I get no pie. Well, the truth is, when you're doing it right as a leader, and you're making progress, and you have momentum, and you're creating and multiplying your energy, chances are you're making the pie bigger for everybody. You're not just making more profit, you're creating more opportunities. You're making the lives of people around you better. You're giving them job opportunities and chances to sell, chances to generate revenue. And hopefully for your clients, you're actually making their life better too, if you're doing it right. And if you're not doing it right, truth is, you're not going to have any obstacles. I mean, why resist a non-threat? I love the way Jordan Peterson says it. Look, if you're the rabbit who refuses to attack the wolf, you're not just weak. You're a victim. There's no virtue in being the rabbit who refuses to fight back. You're just dinner. But if you're the rabbit who's willing to fight back, you're messing with the ecosystem. You're making progress. You have momentum. It's the wolf who has the power to eat the rabbit and chooses not to. That's virtue. If you have the ability to move forward with such progress and momentum and create such energy around what you're doing that other people are impacted by it, whether they choose to be or not, that's power. Choosing to restrain yourself so that you're not driving people over the edge or slamming their boats into the dock, that's a choice. There's actually a word for that. It's called meekness. But I can promise you one surefire way to absolutely, definitively guarantee that in your life, unexpected obstacles are going to arise. Make progress. Move towards your goals with momentum, with energy, with force, with courage. And what you're going to find is the world's going to react to it. The universe is going to react to it. Obstacles are going to seem like they came out of nowhere. Murphy's Law is going to come up. How you handle that, that's the sign of your maturity as a leader. Do you lose your cool? Do you completely go off the deep end? Do you quit? Do you give up because obstacles came? Because here's another promise in that. If you have little progress and little momentum, you have little obstacles. More progress, more momentum, more obstacles. Bigger progress, bigger momentum, bigger energy, bigger obstacles. Guaranteed. So as the obstacles get bigger, do you quit? Do you give up? Do you abandon the project? That's all about you as a leader. I want to challenge you when you face those obstacles. Understand they're there because you're making progress. They're testing your mettle. They're challenging your commitment. They're actually a good thing for you. Now, some of them could be completely unavoidable. Some of them are your own making, like my protein shake. Either way, how you handle those obstacles, your attitude in those obstacles, how you think about what you feel, and how you feel about what you think, that's going to be a big indicator as to whether or not those obstacles are going to stop you or you're going to continue to make progress with more energy, with more momentum to the next level. It's my challenge for you today. When the obstacles come, realize they're there. Are they your making or somebody else's? And then continue to push forward with momentum and energy toward progress. I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast for Tell It Like It Is TV. Have a blessed day.
Subscribe now for access to our extensive media library of leadership lessons promoting faith, family, and freedom. Begin your personal growth plan at storypoweracademy.com for leadership development and communication.